Hello, I'm Catherine, the creator of Shia and the Jetsons Community Preservation of the Promised Land. Okay, so I am here to create the Promised Land so that every gingerbread colored Negro, outlaw, whatever you want to call yourself, because that's what you are. You're a gingerbread colored outlaw. Yes, you are, because if you look here, go to Google. You have to do your research. It's very important that you do your research. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They stole our land. Damn it. Okay. Go to Constitution of Chata Nation. And when you go to Constitution of Chata Nation, or any $5 any uh the $5 innies are foreign. They're not from here. And I already broke it down on what they eat. They eat blood. They're not of us. The $5 Indians are not of us. They're with the Mexicans, whites that created themselves to take us over. So they took us over our land. And then what they did was they came here with the Moors because the Moors were being overrun by the worst white race ever in human history, located in Bulgaria, right? That took us all over. And we have to get our land back because in the Constitution that they wrote, they took our land over and they removed us from Chickasaw, from Florida all the way throughout the whole United States. They just removed us from our homes. And then when they did that, they put their senator offices, their houses in the most beautiful areas where we used to live at and took us over, stole our names, took our names and renamed them that this is their land. So they wrote a Constitution of Chata Nation. Type it in, Constitution of Chata Nation. And they said no free Negro can come into the Chata Nation. That Chickasaw, Cherokee, if you speak now, there are black people who are Indians, of course, who spoke the language that they were titled of. So if you were Chata, because my great grandparents they spoke Chata, uh, 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 the Chata language. So you have to type in, go to Library of Congress, go to Library of Congress, okay, and you will find, type in Indian Wars, type in Daru Indian, because Indian means black people, Swarte, black people, you, okay? Type in Indian Wars or Darus. Type in uh, type in United States, uh, five civilized tribes, Indian, five civilized tribes, because this is what they if you were civilized, that means you signed the treaty. They defeated you. You're not the outlaw. You are not the freed Negro that they're talking about in the Constitution. What they said in the Constitution of Chata Nation, they said no free Negro can come into Chata Nation. Chata Nation is everywhere. Because remember now, this was written in 1837, not 1830. This is 1830. This is my great grandparents. Her name is Nisi Ann Allen, and the last name is Gay too. So Nisi Ann Gay Allen. So if you have that last name, and okay, because the commissioner explained to my great great grandparents that they removed all of the black Negroes. That she says we are gingerbread colored Negroes. Gingerbread man, you can't catch me, right? So they removed us and we became outlaws from that. So the commissioner said, since you're outlaws, you have to live over there because we removed you out of Dancing Rabbit Creek. That's where my father and my father's side is from. My grandfather, he's from Texas. You know the movie Harder They Fall? I already broke it down that Bass Reeves was the worst one, and they created black people as terminators to remove us. They had to use black people first, just like they terminated and they killed Hitler and his people from not coming over here. Hitler was going to come over here and kill all the white people like he did over there because he had the problem that we have. There are some white people who are German, who are solid white people that are supposed to be white people. Then there are other white people who are not supposed to be white people. They're not supposed to be on this planet. They were created by the Chinese and the Mexican, the $5 Indian and the Russians created a white race. Okay? Before they even came here, they destroyed Mars. I know that's real deep, but I'll break that down later. But when they came here from planet Jupiter because it's a thieving planet. I'll break that down later. I know it's over your head. You don't understand, but just wait. When they came here, they came over in Bulgaria, Russia. Then they migrated into where Italy, where all the black people were at. All the Moors were in Italy, Malta, Vatican. That's all Africa. That's all, not Africa. That's all black people, Moors. Hitler was already there. German white people were already there when these other white people was dropped down. Type in UFO battle in the year 1565 in Nuremberg, Germany. There was a UFO battle. Why was that battle there? Because they were dropping down the worst white people that they created onto the Germans. Hitler had the problem. No, it wasn't Hitler. It was Hitler's grandfather. Hitler's great-great-grandfather had a problem with these white people. The Slavs. Slavs. Type it in. Type in Romanian. Czechoslovakia. Type in Turkish. Turks. Those people were never supposed to be created. There was an abomination. And they procreated and went down where the Germans were at. Where the Germans were at in Russia. We're talking about prior to 1313. We're talking about like that. We're talking about Hitler's great-great-grandfather. He had the same problem we had. Well, these people, I'm trying to give you what's going on. You have to go back in history to tell what happened to us and how it links to Hitler killing what he did. I already broke it down on that book. Oh, the book. You got to get this book right here. Here, get this book. It's this Hitler's book. It's on Amazon. It's like $16. Get this book. Now, why Hitler did what he did ties into why we didn't do we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and that's why we paying rent, forced to be paying rent on our own land, in which Trump already told you never pay rent. When he came in with Dr. Fauci on the stage on March 15th, he said you can't never pay no rent no more. You have to, send a letter to your state, county board of supervisors, county. That's why I don't never pay no rent. I haven't paid rent in so long. It's been like a year and a half. I don't pay rent. You're not supposed to pay rent. It's over. The 640 years is over. You're not supposed to pay rent. Okay, so you go to your county board of supervisors and you say, hey, my landlord or manager of this apartment or house is forcing me to pay rent in the middle of a fucking COVID. There's no jobs. I'm under hardships and I can't pay any rent. I need that document to show my landlord that I can't pay any more rent. They'll give it to you. You give it to your landlord and you can never pay no more rent. Never, 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 because the 400 years of slavery is over and you don't know that. That's why I'm trying to tell you what's going on. So we're getting out of this matrix, but you have to do it on a minute detail. So let's get back to the subject. It's about Hitler tying in to what we were supposed to do that they took out in the Bible. I'm not religious. I'm not. But if you're going to be religious, if you Bible thumpers out there, you were supposed to take care of who removed you from your land. You were supposed to take care of that, and you didn't. What fucked us up was it was Bass Reeves. I'm trying to tell you, it was his army who removed us and murdered us. And when that happened, you had coons coming in teaching us what the white man wanted for us was to be a slave, to be oppressed, to be forced to pay rent on your own land. And when you look at the Constitution of the Choctaw, they take out the Negro. Why? How come they didn't say African? They said no Negro can come into Choctaw land no more, because in 1837 we removed you. See, we removed you in 1830. It's right here on your great great grandparents' darus. We were removed. My grandfather was removed from their homes in 1963 by the same Bass Reeve people. See, and now it's called Oklahoma State, no, Oklahoma Urban Renewal. That's what it's called. Oklahoma City Urban Renewal removes you from your homes. So the people that Bass Reeves, the Lone Ranger, that they love so much, they love him so much. Why does the KKK in the 1800s love this man and all of these black men because they were removing, they were killing us at point they would come to our homes and shoot us out of our houses. Do you understand? And we had to run out of the backyard, grab some guns, and come back and shoot them out of our houses where we became instant outlaws. Then after they removed us, they wrote the Constitution of Choctaw Nation and said that we can't come back and live in our own land. Where's that at? Everywhere. Now it is. So what that means is when the commissioner gave us the 640 acres and said it was ours, because they asked they asked, because my grandparents was applying for her land back that they stole, but they stole her, they kidnapped her as a child. Now she don't know who her mama is. She only know what her relatives told her who her mama is, and they were right because they went with her. Her husband went with her because he was kidnapped too. See, when they removed our great grandparents, they was shooting their parents. They were shooting our great 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 grandparents and their parents, and then leaving the children and the teenagers. That's our great 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 grandparents, is the teenager that's trying to say in the 1830s. In 1830s, your great great grandparents was a child kidnapped. Then when they turned grown, they said, "Hey, this is in 1902. You stole us from our land." And in 1902, right after that, they started giving us the booster shot because our great grandparents was applying, was saying, "Hey, we beat them outlaws that was killing y'all at first. See, we was killing y'all. We were the outlaws." And they said, now no Negro can come into Choctaw Nation or any Cherokee. You can't claim that no more now because we removed you. Who would do that? I told you that the $5 Indians, Chinese, Mexicans, and whites are all one and the same from Bulgaria in the Caucasus Mountains. And I showed you what they eat. They would raise the caribou, the cattle. And there's nothing, there's no stoves, there's nothing, there's no heat there. It's all cold, frozen lands. It's frozen lands. So they eat everything raw. And they take the cup and they drink the blood with the meat all raw. And this is what they raise, live caribou, cattle. There is no trees there. Why? How come there's no trees in Caucasus Mountains? Why? When they went there, they destroyed everything in that land. That's why there's no trees there. It's just snow. And they raise the caribou. And they have then of course they have their grains. They keep, the caribou alive, obviously with the grass and stuff for the winter and all that stuff. But there's nothing to, they live, their huts are not structurally sound. We're talking about teepees and cloth homes only. Skin from the people, from the animals that they killed is their roof of a teepee. They never had pyramids that can light up the whole entire city. They never could think of anything like that. Me, here I am. I created the Jetsons, where it is not only waterproof but bulletproof, and it flies just like a jet because it's a jet first. I created that and I patented for you guys to have in 3 years, but you have to support me. So I'm the one that creates the promised land because I patented. It's the law. It's a company that you have to support me. And I always like to promote her book, Sophia Stewart, because in the movie The Matrix, Neo needed an attorney. Did he not? So do I. That costs money. That's why you would have to support me. And I didn't receive any donations yesterday or the day before yesterday. I only received 5 after 100 people saw this. So you don't have to really donate, but just understand what I'm saying, that the people that took you over still want you dead. I'm just saying. And they're plotting against you as we speak. For instance, more than half of the people that have to be removed from this planet, 7 billion, well, they already took the voom vooms. Now, those people are designed to take it. They have to take it. Why? Because they're the ones that removed us from our lands. We're going back from the very beginning prior to 1619. So if there was nothing here 1619, all of that will be removed. And it's being removed as we speak. That's why they have to take the shot. That's why they're being heavily influenced to take the shot. And why do I bring up Hitler? Because it's the return of Cain. Cain comes in the form of Trump. He comes in 2019 and he puts out the coronavirus. I'm not saying he puts it out, but he blames, he tells you who's involved in it. China. $5 entity. In Indian. Connected to white people. In Bulgaria. Coronavirus. Boom. Mask up. Now you guys are the virus. You take the shot. Boom. So now they have to take the virus to stay away from the Most High God children who are indigenous. Follow me. Because this all ties up to where Cain comes. Now, when we talk about Cain, we're talking about the TV series Loki. Look at number 6. He said, you think you evil. He was telling Loki. Who's Loki? Loki is the god of mischief. Black women, white men, KKK, they're all Lokis. The senators, black attorneys are Lokis because you didn't do nothing about this shit that's going on, and you didn't file a class action lawsuit on these people that you're working with, so you're a Loki. You're going to go down in hell. Okay, well, in the episode 6 of Loki, Disney Channel, watch it. Cain said, you think I'm evil. You wait till my variants come. You wait till the flood comes about of me. You wait till I come. I come in many different forms. I come in Fauci. I come as Fauci. I come as Bill Gates. I come as Trump. Trump came here. His name is Trump. And he brought in and introduced Fauci. I'm just saying he brought that in. And then he mashed on out. He put in Dr. Fauci, boom, the shot and all the vaccine shit. More than half of the police department that fucked us up with Bass Reeves. Go look at my other video. I break it down on what Bass Reeves is. He's the terminator of us. He killed us all and turned us into instant outlaws. Gingerbread colored outlaws. Okay, now, so Trump comes in, introduced introduce that to the police department, that they must be weakened. The military must be weakened, and the police department must be weakened. The whole entire family that fucked us up must be weakened. So then he brings in the shots. Okay, so when he brings that in, who's left standing? Coons and okay, not only Coons gonna be left standing, but of course the Most High God children. And okay, so we're gonna have to ask y'all, what were you guys doing this whole time when we were getting messed? Since you're in the Senate department, black man, you're in the Senate, and you have black lawyers, how come you didn't file a class action lawsuit for us to? And now, when I say reparations, forget reparations. Let's just say why you didn't file a class action lawsuit on the simple fact is that we indigenous. Like people like Judge Joe Brown, they got it coming, because how you gonna be a judge? How you gonna be a judge and you from Choctaw? Now, when we talk about Choctaw or Mississippi Creek Nation, we're talking about other different languages that we used to speak. We never spoke English. We spoke Choctaw in here, or we spoke now Cherokee and whatever Iroquois. Those are tribal communities that we lived in, and we spoke that language. We spoke differently. We didn't speak English, because in here, the white commissioner, asked her, well, what language did you speak? And he said, well, my grandfather spoke Choctaw, a Creek Nation. What part, Mississippi or Florida? And she said, I can't tell you that. I don't know. Oh, somebody called me. Oh. Okay. So anyway, she said, I can't tell you that, but my grandfather spoke Choctaw Nation and, Choctaw in Chickasaw. because that's what language we spoke. We spoke different languages. We did not speak English. So now, but of course, our English was mixed in because we're the first language. We brought out this language in our country. So we're talking the way that we're talking mixed in with English because they came over here from Britain and mixed in our shit with Choctaw Nation. And then when you look at Harder They Fall, you will see if they vilified somebody in that movie, then it looked like that woman who was Trudy, she had her own school. And if she had her own school, she was recruiting people how to speak English. Just forget about your language. See, she was recruiting people how to be a coon. Whatever they vilified those people, and you see how they hid Bass Reeves. You see how he's the worst villain to us, but they hid this man in this movie. They made him stand right next to Nat Love. No, you were never standing on Nat Love. Nat Love would have killed you because you came in, and then he said, "Well, we lived." He retreated into the Indian territories. No, you retreated into the black, gingerbread colored Negro people. Not no, okay, fine, Indian territory, whatever. But what I'm saying is that Bass Reeves went to his own neighborhood. And nobody was a slave. There is no such thing as slave or slavery. Nobody was a slave. So when they talk about black people was a slave, there's no such thing as that. They're all of these written documents that you see here. When you see Bass Reeves, and if it's connected to any word slavery, then that's a lie. Because you can't be a slave on your own land. The slaves were white people who came over here as criminals, handcuffed and shackled. The British brought them over here as criminals. Abraham Lincoln was a criminal. George Jefferson was a bona fide criminal coming over here with chains and shackles. I'll type in Kumuro. It's on YouTube. Kuriem, and then his last name is Huha. Kumuro Hawa. He would say, okay, so I'll put in a link of that. He breaks it down on how George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin are all criminals. They came over here as hard-nosed criminals, killing women and children and eating them because this is what they eat. They eat people and blood. They eat blood, flesh, and people. I'm just trying to tell you what they eat. I'm just trying to tell you who took us over. Vampires, look at my other video. Vampires took us over. They live in Bulgaria and the Caucasus Mountains. I'll type in another link for you to see. Where did Trump go to meet Putin? He went to Helsinki, Russia. Type it in. Type in Helsinki, Russia. That's where. Type in Trump went to see Putin in Helsinki, Russia. Where's hell? Bulgaria, where those people were eating, the white people were eating, the drinking the blood. This is where Trump went to go meet Putin to tell Putin that we have to make a deal. This was in 2018 when he was president. He went to go see Putin in Helsinki, Russia. Okay. This is where Hitler was this is where he was killing those Helsinki, Russia people. Hitler was killing these Helsinki, Russia people. Why? Because they eat blood. They drink your blood. When they came here to America, they were snatching up black kids off the coast of Florida and eating them. So when you sleeping, you going to the club and y'all like, yeah, you understand that you got vampires that removed us from our lands, is what I'm trying to tell you. And they're still in the Senate office, and they have black people who are working for them who must be a vampire as well, because when I broke it down, showed you that video where that black reporter had another lizard tongue coming out of his tongue. And right after he said, what happened to Chris Wood's death? What the hell was that? And a snake tongue came out of his tongue. I just showed you that video. They're not human. They come out of Eve. They come out of Eve. That means Eve was a whole lizard. She wasn't she was a whole lizard, while all the rest of the other black women was having little baby boys all by themselves. Crump TV broke that down. That yes, there's such thing as women having babies all by themselves. And then there's women that's having lizard babies that look like you and me, and they not. They not you. They eat and they kill. Why? Because they trying to be like the Most High. It's in the Bible. And I will exalt my man amongst them, and I will be like the Most High. Well, that means if you're like, if you're trying to be like, that means you're not. And if you're not, then you're a fucking lizard. And if you're a fucking lizard, then you were the one that was eating the babies and drinking and making adrenochrome. Okay, well, this is what Hitler was getting rid of. He didn't miss. He wasn't talking about no damn treaty. He wasn't talking about no treaty. He wasn't negotiating. No, he didn't want to negotiate. He wasn't trying to negotiate with nobody. You know, he wasn't trying to see if he wasn't listening to a parasite try to tell him where his land is at. His mother and his father was being murdered. You know, and see, he didn't miss. See Hitler. See, they wanted to make sure that he did not miss her. They didn't want that type of bloodline to procreate. Now, who is these people that Hitler was shooting point blank and kicking them down in the ditches and shit by the millions? It was these people that the Red Tails rescued these people and put the flag around them and said, see, we rescued you. The Red Tail black people did that because the parasitic people came here, right? And then formed another Bass Reeves army, Red Tail, and went in and killed Hitler because Hitler was coming over here. Go ahead, type in the History Channel and see white people was worried. Why was they worried? Because they were worried because just like Paul Revere was worried.